That's better. Hi, I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you. I just started to come on, and it was showing that I've been live for hours and hours and hours and hours when we're just setting up to come on. Don't know what's happening. Anyway, we're making a bridge card. I think I am going to go with a lemon lolly. Nice. Right, we're going to start off with a piece of card that measures 5 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. And it's going to be by 10 1/4. So let me get that straight, 10 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to score it at 1 5/8. So I'm going to score it at 1 5/8. 1 5/8. And 3 1/4. And then we're just going to spin it around, and we are going to do exactly the same. So that's going to be 1 5/8. And 3 1/4. Okay, there we go. Right, now I'm going to just put that to one side, and I'm going to get some in fact I ought to have looked if I've got any smaller sheets. Bear with me, I thought I'd got everything. I don't want to use whole sheets if I've got something that's going to work smaller. So, yeah. Okay, so I want a piece that is 1 1/2. So I'm going to cut it 1 1/2 by 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to do one that's 1 1/2 by 7 inches. So we'll just put that on one side for the moment. Then I want another piece that is going to be 5 inches. Now, is that 5 inches? No, I'm just going to look if I've got any more scraps. That's going to be, let's have a look at that one. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Right, I wanted it 5 inches, but let's have a look. Not quite big enough, so let's have a look for something else. Let's have a look at that one. I'm going to move the big old piece out of the way. I will go for that. Okay, I want it to be 2 1/2 inches. So I want 2 1/2 inches. And whoops, I don't want that over there. I want that over. Get that scrap. 2 1/2 inches. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'll lift this up so you can see. I'm going to put this at 5 inches. So I'm butting it up against 5 inches. Then I'm going to pull it slightly away. Can you see? I've just taken it a fraction away, not even 1/16 of an inch. Put it at the 5, and I'm just moving it back slightly, about a millimetre roughly away. Okay, and I have that by 2 1/2. Okay, now we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. So So I'm scoring it at 3/4 of an inch. Let me get that right, 3/4 inch. And I'm going to spin it round and cut it and score it again at 3/4 inch. Right, okay, so we want that there. So we'll come back to more cutting in a minute, so don't put your trimmer away. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm using garden green, and I want to make some grass is what I want to make. So what I'm going to do is any of your grass that you've got in any set, so you get lots of bits of grass, so the dinosaurs got some in, I'm actually using on the farm, but you can use anything. I'm just going to switch my light on. It looks a bit dark. I'm hoping that it's not dark for you, but we'll hopefully I've put that bit of light on, so we'll see. So I've got out garden green. That's garden green. So I'm going to do garden green, and I am going to do some shaded spruce as well. But I'm going to do some garden green first with this stamp. And all I'm going to do is just go right at the top. And I want to do a row coming along there like that. And then I'm going to do this on here as well. That side. So I'm going to start right at the end. Oops, I didn't do that right. That should have been a bit further down. And it doesn't matter if you overlap. We're going to go right the way along. And you want it to the very edge, so do make sure you go to the very edge. Now I'm going to go and just randomly put these in now, so just anywhere. Okay, just do some coming off the bottom as well. That's it, and I'll do some coming out there, and I want to do just a bit there. That'll do for that one, and then I'm going to do the same on this one. Just do random all over the place. You won't see so much of this one, so you can go around the corner. That's fine, you're not really going to see the bottom. Now, one thing that I would love is some grass. Now, a grass dye, should I say. Now, I have actually buried my catalogue, but I wanted to show you what you could do instead. Okay, so in the Grove dyes, you have got this grass edge, and that is, if I'd got that dye, I would be using that, and I would just cut off my trees and make them, you know, like the rest of it. So that in the Grove one, and also there's the Grassy Grove, and that one again is very similar, and I would cut off the trees. You see, you can see I would cut off the trees and just use that bottom. So I would just kind of get this piece of card. Let's just pick up the bigger one, and what I would actually do is I would put that level with the bottom of the die. Now I would tuck it in a bit like that. So let me just show you. I want something in there in a minute, so I'll just show you. So I would actually tuck this inside the die like that, so that you get in this edge here. So you'd need to get that edge. Now if that cuts off at the bottom there, that's going to be awkward. I don't know whether it will, it might do, so that might be a problem there. But what I really want is a die that's like that, but will give you, you can do the bottom. So I'd not want it to be cutting the bottom. I'd want a die that would actually give me, so I could choose the depth, if you see what I mean. Right, so I'll bring that back later because I want to show you something else. So what I'm going to do, because I haven't got a die like that, I'm just going to go in and out of where I've just cut so that we get in some spiky kind of grass. So I'm just going to go in and out. Might go up and down, so any way it goes. So we're just gonna do some like that, just however it goes, because grass is all uneven. But as I say, if I'd got a die, I wouldn't have to do this. But I haven't got a grass die that will do what I want it to do. Of course, the other thing that you could do is, in some of the dies you do get a grass die, and in the grass die you could just do loads of it. I'll show you what I mean. Let's see, has this got just gonna have a look in the dies. Well, this has kind of got your grass die, so what I'd do is cut loads of those out, and then you'd stick them in different positions going up and down. So you could do that as well. That'd be something else you could do. I did toy with the idea of seeing if I could just put this at the top, but it would cut down at either side, I thought, so that didn't quite work for me. So I couldn't bend my dies to do what I wanted to do today, so I thought that this would be the way of doing it. So again, I'm just going to cut this, I say just jagged, however it goes it will be fine. So there's no wrong or right way of doing it, just do it. So, and as I say, with any grass that you've got, and lots of sets do have grass bits in them, so I'm going to just do that like that. Okay, we can fold these both in now and use my bone folder to do that and do that. Okay, so there's part of our grass. That's going to be part of our grass as well, so that's going to go over one side. Bring back in my card base now. I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't want to get that on, particularly as I've done yellow. Right, so we're going to fold, yeah, there, the second score line I'm folding in. Just make sure that you have got your sides level there, and then fold the next one back on itself, and I'm going to open it up to give it a good crease like that. Okay, so it will be like that. I'm going to do the same, so I'm going to fold that second score line, make sure the top and the bottom are level, and then fold that one back on itself and open it up so I can give that a nice crease, and then that, so it's going to be like a bridge card. Right, so with an added bit. Right, so now we are going to put a piece in the back here. So I'm going to bring in some of my green again, see what I've got. Yeah, that will work. Let's see if we've got anything round about the same. No. Right, we're going to go for that. So we are going to have a piece for I think that measured 3 3/4, isn't it? Yeah. Just over it. I'll pull that up so I can see better. It's just like, yeah, it is about 3 3/4. Right, I'm going to take that to 3 5/8 wide. So that's plenty big enough. But first I'm going to cut the length. So I'm going to cut that at 4 7/8. So you want 4 7/8. Just move that out of the way. 4 7/8. And then it wants to be by, what did I say? By 3 5/8. 3 5/8. I want that. 3 5/8. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. So that's going to fit in the back of there like that. Okay, that's going to go in the back there like that. But I'm not going to put it on there. I'm just going to stick to my DSP. So I'm going to bring in my DSP. Now, I'm just doing something fun. So I'm using some of my old DSP. You'll see, I've got plenty of it all around. So it's the strawberries. You'll see why later on. Right. So I'm going to do this is 12 down. So, but you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Right. So it was 1 and, where's my score? 1 3/4. Did I do it? No, 1 5/8. So I want it 1 1/2. So I'm just going to do 1 1/2. And this is going to speed things up. 1 1/2 by 4 7/8. And we want, we'll start with 2. So we're going to be putting those there and there. Yeah, I think I'll leave that plain in there. And then we'll want a smaller bit for inside. So I want to take that. That was I want 3 1/2. 3 1/2. So and I want it by 4 3/4. So 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay. Hopefully that's right. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah. So a bit of fun. It's for my grandson. Okay, so I'm going to stick these down now. So let's move those out of the way, and we'll stick these down to start with. So I can flatten it down to stick it. Let's do this. So this was some old celebration paper, but I'm giving you the principle of making this, and then you can put your own spin on it. Okay, I mean, if you really wanted to do exactly what I did, I could send you the DSP, make you a card kit up of this. I could send you that out if that was something that you wanted to do, but it would only be the card base and the materials to do it, and it would be while stocks last, of course. So I'm sticking that on there, and then we'll stick this on here. But I've got some suggestions for different things that you could do with this, because the set that I'm using is no longer available, but there's different things that you could do that I'll talk to you about as we go along. Okay, so that, whoops, put it the right way. I'll flatten that to do that there. Okay, right, now to make it easy for myself, what I'm going to do with this piece now is we're going to put glue. The reason we pulled it away from the 5 inches is to give it that little bit of movement. I'm going to make sure that this goes level with the bottom. There we go, with the bottom, so that that will go out when you want it to that way. Okay, or should it be down a bit more? So tuck that in, push that over, and that's got to go. Didn't tuck it down far enough, I don't think. There, so it wants to go right down, actually. It wants to go on the crease. Let's see. It's going to work. Let me just check that when it goes. It's not. That was. Something's gone wrong with my measurements. Something's gone wrong with the measurements. I think that was 5, wasn't it? Yeah. And we have got 1 3/4. Then, oh, didn't I do that quite right? Quarters, then we've got to have 3/4 of an inch, and then another 3/4 of an inch, and that's, oh, it should have been 5 1/4. Have I not looked at my, no, I haven't got it there, but I think that needs to be 5 1/4. Right, so to remedy that, I'm going to have a smaller bit. So take it back out. So it's got to be 5 1/4 because we're 1/4 of an inch short. So I've made a mistake on that, but I can rectify it myself because I don't want to keep you on camera and do that. So what we're going to have to do, you see, it's 1/4 of an inch short there. So what I'm going to have to do is turn that to 1/2 an inch. So I'll show you a way when things fail. So 1/2 an inch, I'm taking that down to 1/2 an inch because I need that little bit extra. Okay, and I'm going to rub out this. Now this is no problem for me because I can rectify this, and this so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a piece of let's see there, 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to cut myself 1/4 of an inch piece. Okay, and that I'm going to stick on there. So that wanted to be 2 1/2. So I'm actually rectifying this. I'm going to stick that extra piece in so you're not going to notice this. Okay, so what I will do is, so see how I did that one? Let's go back a minute so I'm not confusing you. Right. So yours will be 5 1/4. You will score that at 3/4 of an inch on both sides. Okay. You will put the strip down so that it is level with the score line, and then you will just tuck it over, and that, when you tuck it over like that, that will be in the right place. So I'm just gonna put glue on that bit, and yours won't have any missing card on that. Your card will be there. And what I'm doing, see inside, just gonna patch it. There we go. So that will be, took it the other way. I'll take that down. There. Put that on there. That's it. That's it. So that's not going to show. So I've just patched that in there, so you can see now, you can see just the green, and nobody's going to know that I've done that. And this part anyway, I can put something on the top part, so it will be able to fold both ways like that to put in the card, because the card will be 5 by 7 for an envelope, but that's how it will be when you've done it. So I'm just going to make sure that this is stuck. Okay, and then again push it to one side, and we're going to put this on now at the bottom, but we only want to glue the bits. And see what I did? I've turned it over now so that I can see that I only need glue on that part. Look, so I'm just going to put glue on that part, and then I only need glue on that part, so I'm only going to put it on that part. So that's a way of seeing where you need the glue. Okay, and then I'll turn that back to the right way. Put it at the bottom, so I want it level with the bottom, so I'm just going to stand that up level with the bottom, and I'm going to make sure that it's equal on either side. Okay, so you should be able to move your card that way and it fit. Okay, so it should be able to move that way and fit. Okay, so there we go, and then it will be like that. Right, now what I've got is these beautiful ladybooks, but what I thought, there was a I'm sure it was with a punch, a ladybug, but I thought what else would be really cute, yeah, it's in between these. I'm just going to find, because there's a bigger picture, so I'm just going to find for you there, the actual the Be My Valentine with the punch. I thought this would be perfect as well, because bees and flowers just the same, and going on strawberries or whatever you're going to be doing. But I thought that would work out doing it with that. But having said that, you could do this as a farm scene. So I've got on the farm, so this could be a farm scene, so exactly the same. You could actually do this with the Darling Dinosaurs, so dinosaurs could be in this. Obviously your paper will be different to mine, so you can have something different to put the dinosaurs on. I just thought that the ladybugs and the strawberries and things would work out. So I've got a flower that I've already cut out. So I'm gonna stick my flower this side. And now that mistake I made back there, you are not going to be able to see that. Yeah, I am going to tuck it behind like that. So I'm just going to put glue on the bottom. But before we do that, I'm going to bring in Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to bring in a block and just put some Lemon Lolly on there. I'm going to get my Wink of Stella and pick that up with the Lemon Lolly, and then I'm going to paint my flower. As you know, this is one of my favourite ways of doing things. Now, you could just colour it with blends. Doing it with the Wink of Stella, of course, sorry, it gives you a sparkly flower. We love sparkles, don't we, ladies? We love sparkles. So you can fade it out, going out there. It's darker, have darker and lighter. Going on the edge there. And I didn't think about this, so I've now thought about it now. I want orange for the middle, and I didn't pick up an orange ink pad. Unfortunately, my ink pads are all behind me, so I can grab that soon. I was really trying very hard to think of everything that I would like for today's project to have handy. So I tried my best, and then I obviously I did have 2 whole sheets of my garden green, but then I decided that I wanted to do it be more frugal with my my actual garden green. So there, it's getting lighter and darker. Yeah, I like that. Right, now always make sure that you get rid of any colour on your Wink of Stella. You don't want that. So I'm going to go in for shaded spruce now. I'm going to turn my block, so make sure I don't go over the yarn. Didn't have quite as much yellow as what I wanted on, but now I've got shaded spruce, I've got tons. So I'm going to go down the stem. And take that out. I can lighten that bit. Just going to pick up a little bit more so that I've got that dark light going off. Okay. Just want a bit more darker there. Okay, and then again take up, go very dark there and let it come a bit lighter there. I'll perhaps take that a shade darker there, like that. Right, so again we need to wipe off. You can see it this time. Did you see that, or did I put it out of shot? So I need to, so I just have scraps of paper about to do anything that will just absorb the green off my Interstellar, I think that's it now. So pumpkin pie I'm going to go for, and I only need a tiny weeny bit, so just put it on the end there and just pick up that pumpkin pie to just put in the middle there. Oops. That there, and then again, that's okay. Right, move that out of my way before I put my hands in it. In fact, just make sure I wipe my hands. So, and I did have a, but I've got where that is now. Right, so let's bring that back. Where's my card? I'm just getting rid of some of the stuff on me. Okay, so we're going to put on the front of my leaf at the bottom, so just on that front, I'm going to just tuck that there. Now I don't want it to go over the side of my card, remember, because when it folds this way I have got that part of the envelope. If I take it that way as well, I can't, so it's got to go that way in the envelope. So there we go. So I've got to make sure that I don't go over there. Right, so thought we'll have no, I think I'm going to have a flying one, so I'm going to have a flying one to go on there. So I'm going to get dimensional. There we go. So taking these, and then I find the ones that I've been using. That's what usually happens to me. Oh, these are the ones I'm using. So I'm going to just put one on the back of him, and just going to have him flying off there. Now make sure that there is no dimensional sticking over here, else you'll end up sticking your card. One that looks rather smug, so I'm going to stick him in on the dimensional on the back. I think perhaps I have him coming off a leaf there. Gonna have him going down there. So what I did, I prepared these earlier. So I used my blends, and I had Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, and Smoky Slate, the light and the dark of the Smoky Slate. Now I'm gonna stick him right there, but before I stick him on, we're going to stamp some words. So I'm going to pull out here, move that out of my way, and I want some white. Where have I put the white? There. I'm bringing just a scrap there, and I want the words "You're as cute as a bug." Which one's that one? I think it's this one. Let's have a look. Is it? Yes, it is. So we'll do "cute as a bug." So I've brought myself plenty of yeah, that's fine. That's I'll do that about there. Right, now I've brought loads of different things because I've got this. Will it work with this? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is put that on the, to do it so I can see. Trying to see whether I've got the G about and the Y about. I think that's about it. Bunches are great for doing things like this. So now I'm going to pull this down, and what I tend to try and do is hook it in. So I'll pull it so far down, and I'm trying to hook it back in. That's it. So I've hooked it back in where these are to make it smaller one. So that's cute as a bug. I just want a dimensional. Let me close up my ink pad a minute. I've already got some green on there. Where have I got that from? Don't know. Right, so I'm going to just put cute as a bug and gonna stick that. Guess let's see which. Oh, this side. I'm looking to see which way my bug, because I want my bug to kind of go on there. So let's put your cute as bug. So put that there, and I'm going to put dimensional on the back, and this is going to just kind of go on there. Okay, right, now grandson, because it's for my grandson. I want my grandson, her grandson. Okay, and I want To an Amazing Grandson. So that, I think, is it. Yeah, I'll put that on a book. And again, bring in my white card, and that looks as though it'll fit on there. Yeah. Not sticking very good. This is it. Well, I think I might have got some dirt on this. I'm going to put that out there. That's it. And again, I'm going to play. So I'm going to shut this up. So again, I'm going to go in into about there. I think that's about even. So do that. And I'm going to push this through and tuck it so that it's there. That's it. And then we've got that again. We're going to stick a Amazing Grandson. That can go there. So we'll put that about there. Right. Now, where is... Have I used up all my bugs? No, I've got some more. There we go. Because I wanted to put... The whole point of this was that I was going to use that. So I'm going to put one there. So I'm going to get a dimensional on the back of that one. Let's put that. And yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. Good to have good. It's good to have odd numbers. Okay, now I'm just going to look at the wanted to say dies, and I'm going to look at the happy birthday. Happy birthday. Let's have a look. So I think we can do something with that. So I'm going to actually cut that out in my yellow. Oh, that wasn't quite big enough, but I've got that whole strip that I did. Oh, perfect. So I'm just going to cut that across. and move that out of the way. Bring in my die cutting machine, move that out of the way again, and put these and put that there. Right, now I'm going to cut this out twice. Okay, so I've got that there and cut my happy birthday out. I'll just pop all them out, get rid of that, and I'm going to cut it out now. Am I going to do it in the garden green? I think I might. I'm going to have a look in the garden green. Let's just see if I've got anything that'll big enough. Let's have a look. So I'm going to see a bit there, but actually that looks, let's have a look. Yeah, we can do it on that piece, so I'm going to get that piece there. Oh no, changed my mind, it's going to be on the shaded spruce, I think. Shaded spruce. I'm going to look what it looks like in shaded spruce, and I'm going to go into my scraps for shaded spruce. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, nice. I'll just chop that off and do shaded spruce and show you something. Right, so there's two ways of doing it. You can actually just cut out the shadow, or you can do it this way. Let's do shaded spruce. Now, might change my mind. The way I was going to do it, I'm going to see. I'm going to do two ways of doing it and see what I like the best. But you'll see what I mean in a minute. I'll finish messing about with that. Right, I'm just going to get the pokey tool out to just poke those out a minute and just do that one. Right, now I'm going to have to bring back in my, and I want my Wink Stella, and I should have put my lid on. That was very remiss of me. Right, I was going to do it so that I offset, so you offset the birthday like that, and I was going to do that on there, but I'm wondering if it's going to be better offset the yellow way. So I've got the yellow coming. No, I think I'm going to stick with my original. It's just going to give it that bit of shadow. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can just get that like that. Right, so I'll show you now what I mean totally. So I'm going to put my glue on to my yellow one, because my yellow one's going to be my top one. So I'm putting glue on the yellow one, and then I'm just going to offset it so that we've got a little bit of shadow happening. There, like that. See that? So we've got the happy done. Get off, get off, get off. Where's my birthday gone? My birthday's run off. Oh, yes, because I've left it on the card. So again, I'm just going to put my glue on my yellow. Glue on the yellow. And then just offset that a little bit. Sit. Move it till it's in position. Like that very much. Okay, so I'm going to go with the birthday first because I'm now putting it on my birthday there. And I'm considering, right, I've got another idea on top of that. So I'm going to see if it will work. So I'm going to get white and I'm going to cut myself the shadow out, the proper shadow out. So I'm just going to see what I've got. I've got some, maybe that. Where's the shadow now? What there? Just get the shadow out. Can I get on that? Nope, need to be good. Oh, I had this, didn't I? Silly me. Silly me. About, actually, if I do it like that, I've got some there and there. So I tend to roughly cut round mine and save the rest of it, because that will then, you'll be able to get something else on there. Got to be very frugal with white now, as it's gone up quite a lot. I think you can still get it, I think, at the moment, but soon you won't be able to get 40 sheets in it, and it's going down to having 24 like normal cardstock, but it's going up in price as well. So fortunately on my last order I did get a 40 one. Right, now I think I'm just gonna look and maybe do a little bit of can either stick it on there like that, maybe have it at an angle as well. Down there and the happy up there. Right, gonna go for just sticking the birthday on a minute because the glue's still wet, and I'm just gonna stick that down a minute. There, I'm going to stick that down and bring in my scissors very carefully, follow it round, okay, and then I'm just a bit concerned how that is going to go, so I'm going to stick this on it as well, because I want to see how those letters go there. So I'll just pop that on there. So on managed to cut them apart, and now I'm going to see if I can just get in here and come round, and then come back to this one and round it. Okay, and make sure we've got that rounded. There we go, done it. Okay, so I wanted to doctor it because I want this to go right in the corner. So putting that right in the corner. So that's going to be right down there. And then this one, I want it to come up a bit. And actually, I think I'm just going to stick. So I'm going to bring in some old scissors. Where's my old scissors? Got my old scissors. I'm just going to look for this little bit of dimensionals. I'm going to cut this because I just want little bits. So I'm going to cut that. That will fit. Got to make sure it's the bottom I've got. Put that on there. Put that on there. Want another small bit, and that, and put that on the bit. Come on off. Go on, go on. I don't want that sticking down there. That one a bit down there. I want some for that. So let's put there. Peel the bottom off. Now, I may have been able to put a mini down here. I'll just risk that. And then I'm just going to risk putting a little tiny bit on this very bottom bit here. So I'm trying to keep it right at the bottom as much as possible. And then I'm going to sit this over here. That's it. So that's coming off there. So it's dimensional, dimensional, dimensional. So hope you like that. Hope you could see what I was doing then. And then on the back, oh, what happened there? Don't know where that's come from. That's a nuisance on the back there. So that will be covered now. So I've got plenty of this DSP. So I'm going to start with, where's my, I'm going to start with putting it, just make sure there's no more that I'm going to pick up. And then I'll mention off there, so bring back in the trimmer. I'm having to show you some get round things today, aren't I? Right, the card base is 5, so I'm going to put it 5, and that is by 3/4. I do believe. And that is supposed to be 3 3/4. I might take it a fraction, just a fraction over. I'm going to take it. Okay, and I'm going to stick that on there now. So that will go in the back there. So that will be completely, so that's got rid of my ink mess ups there. And then I will cut myself another piece of white. So I'm going to just go in my white, that piece that I had. Yeah, perfect. So so that I've got, going to kind of put that like that. So this will be where I put to and from. Okay, to right to grandson. And because I don't have to post this, I'm going to give it to. I can be dimensional mad. So I'm going to just stick that in the corner there with the flower on. So that's where I'm going to write. And that's the front of the card. Put it down flat to put in your envelope. So that will go like that in your envelope and then spring back into position. So I hope you like that. Thank you very much for dropping by. Do stay safe, do stay well. Bye for now.